Good morning. Good morning, everybody. You ready for this one? You ready for this one? Because this is the one that is the final training in the 6-series training that I was doing. I promised you guys back in January that I was going to show up every day at the second to last week of January, every day or every week on Thursday to train you all the way through February. And you guys got some bonus videos because there were some last week or the week before. I did trainings every single day that week too. So I didn't plan on stacking, but you're welcome. Stand by. Hey, Michelle. Oh my gosh, Michelle, I'm so excited. Monday we get to play. Hey, Joe. All right, Michelle, it's going to be so fire. I'm so excited for the Academy. Get ready. All right. I want to recap what we learned already from this 6-week training series. So when I began in January, we talked about how to go live and what to talk about because it's a really sticky point for a lot of people, but it's really powerful in your business. The second thing we talked about was how to find your voice on social media. Another thing where if you don't feel confident and you don't really know what you're talking or who you're talking to or what you're going to talk about, you end up not doing anything. And finding your voice is a huge piece of the clarity. And the clarity in your business is the thing that's going to get you the audience you need, getting you the sales that you need, all of it. So then we learned how to niche down, like the niching down 101, so that you can attract the clients that really want to work with you, that you really want to work with. And hey, Sharon, I see you, girl. What do you notice in the background, Sharon? Sharon Cohen, if you guys don't know her, she's a multiple times best-selling author on Amazon, and she also is my sponsor for when I have emotional days and I need to do something about it. Can you stand it? Can you stand it? This is the smartest invention ever made. And let me tell you something. This is sturdy and heavy, which means it's good chocolate, and it is. And it also solves problems. So whoever says that you can't eat your problems is wrong. I do it often. Thank you, Sharon. I love you. The next thing we learned about is the training number 4 out of the 6-series training was how to create killer content in 5 minutes or less. And hey, Dr. Shashi. And Kira, I gotta talk to you, Kira. And then we learned about, and when I say killer content in 5 minutes or less, I'm not kidding. You can come up with all the topics in 5 minutes or less, and go back to that training if you haven't seen it, because the content is the thing that gets so hard for people. All of these things that I've been training on are the things that people find so difficult. So that's why I'm doing them. And then the following week, I did content every single day I did live training every single day, which was such a bonus week because I was doing the launch for the Academy 2.0. And that was all about creating content, pricing appropriately, why what you tried in the past may not have worked, all that stuff. And today is the moneymaker, because today is how to create your offer, your high ticket offer. This is where it's at. So if you haven't seen the trainings from before, you want to watch them because this all builds on itself. That was the whole point. Like, let's scale this up so that it all makes sense together, right? I'm not going to give you a bunch of randomness and be like, figure it out yourself. So here we go. If you don't have a pen and paper, and you can get a pen and paper right now and you're not like driving or something and just listening, get a pen and paper because we're going to walk through it. I'm not going to give you like theoretical, like 10,000 foot overview steps. I'm going to walk you through it, and you need these steps to create your own. This is something that if you take these notes, you're going to go back and sit with it later and actually create your offer. Let's go. All right. Signature offer, otherwise known as your transformational offer, your standard offer, your trademark offer, your main offer, your platinum offer, your whatever. Hey, America, let's go, DJ. Okay, Andrew. Apparently I have a new enemy. I saw Skylar's post. I love you. Okay, so call it whatever you want, your transformational offer, your core offer, whatever. It's the staple offering that you deliver to your audience that can get your clients from the starting block to whatever your transformation is that you offer, okay? So this is the main thing. So whether you're teaching people how to train their like pet monkeys, I really wish I had a pet monkey, and so does my son. Whether you're teaching them how to do their makeup or style their children's unruly hair, or hey, Brandon, Bob Romeo, what's happening? Or increase their income through their business like what I do, you should have a signature offer that helps them all the way through strategically so it's systematic for them. So it's not confusing and you don't have to create some custom built thing for every single client you work with. That's exhausting for you. That's exhausting for them. You don't want that. So for one, this is a core offer that you know will help almost anyone you serve. These main blocks that you push people through that will help them no matter who they are. Because again, we talked about having your niche, having your ideal client, and like knowing what you do and who you serve. So if you know that, then you know they all have similar problems. And those similar problems is what you're going to address in the transformational offer, so that you can teach people one to many instead of teaching everybody one-on-one and exhausting yourself and wanting to quit. So this signature offer is the thing. Another thing is really powerful for your business, because this is the thing that you talk about over and over. It becomes what you're known for. You don't have to create all these random things like, okay, I did that training, now what? Now what should I create? No, how about go back to your signature offer, because you know that's what they need. You know that's what's going to give them the biggest transformation. Stop creating stuff because you've already done something. That doesn't make sense. Like, that doesn't make sense. iPhone. Let's use iPhone for an example. Do they come up with like these really wildly different phones all the time? Or are they like, here's one, here's two, here's the same thing with like, a different volume setting. Here's another one with like a little bit better screen. They all crack anyway, but like, they don't change what they offer. They offer this one main thing and they improve a little bit as they go. That's what your signature offer can be. So every time you run your program, then you can be like, I'm gonna take that sentence out. That doesn't really make sense. Or I'm gonna do a bonus video for them because this is like really helpful and they need that support. Like, you don't change the entire process. You change one thing at a time and just improve as you go. So that is that. When you do that for your business, the reason it helps your marketing so much is because now it's clear. Now you are attached to this transformation. Now you are the person that does this all the time. Now if you do this all the time, you're obviously the expert in your space, right? So if this is what you're known for, you get really freaking good at it because you're doing the same program over and over, just tweaking, improving, modifying certain things about it, gaining those testimonials, gaining the traction, gaining the referrals. Like, do you see how this pumps itself up and like creates a bigger, better like profit base for your business and a bigger income, like bigger client reach for yourself? Like, this is the way to go. Yes, Marcy, change one thing. It's so much easier. And people are like, oh, I don't want to bore my audience. What? Like, I want you to recognize that when you guys are posting on social media and when you're going live and all of that stuff, a minute piece of less than 10% of your audience will see it. They're not going to show up live with you. Most people are going to catch the replay. Most people on your friends list will never see your material, okay? Repeat yourself, please. Dear God, please repeat yourself for the sake of the people who are trying to work with you. The other thing I want you to remember is that you got to repeat yourself because not everybody's ready to buy with you. Not everybody's ready to work with you. And guess what? In 6 months, like, I have people that come back to me 18 months later and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so ready to start your program. And I'm like, great, cool. Like, when did you come into like my circle? And they're like, 18 months ago. And I'm like, cool. And they're like, I've just been, like gobbling up your free stuff, trying to get to that point where I'm ready. Now they're ready. Right? That's what you're going to have. This is a buying cycle for people. We don't always jump the first second we see something. You have to repeat yourself. Your signature offer lets you do that, and it lets you get better and better every time. It lets you become known for it. Okay, so let's move on. If you lean in on this, you're going to be the best in the business in your space. And remember, we talked about in one of the trainings too, like 3 weeks ago, having a menu of items, having this like a la carte approach. Well, I could do this for you, or I could do this for you, or I could do this for you. No. Please, no. Please, no. Because you will look desperate, you'll look confusing, you'll be confused, and your ideal clients are trying to come to you because they want the transformation. And so when you're like, well, you could buy this or this or this, they're like, okay, yeah, I don't know what I need. I thought you knew what I needed because you're the expert. Can you just tell me what I need? And you're like, well, what about this? Or this really high price thing or this low price thing? And you're like, well, I don't know just tell me what I need. If you had a transformational offer that was like a system that took everybody through these things and got them all these same results, like that's what you want, right? So none of that. Get rid of this ridiculous menu, this a la carte option stuff, this differently priced things. Create the signature program. There's a system for launching and promoting, for instance. Like consider what it takes, again, to launch a product, to launch a free product, to launch something that costs a little bit, to launch something that costs $9,000. And it all takes the same amount of time, effort, and intention in order to create it and market it. So price higher for a better transformation that your people actually want. So signature offer, how do you make it? Consider your transformation. Here's where you get your pen and paper out, okay? Let's say you were an ideal client a while ago. You were your ideal client. Like Andrew, you were the DJ. I know you've said before that you were the DJ that was like, oh, I didn't know there was like a method. I thought you just like mixed beats until they like felt good or like sounded good together until somebody could like bop to them. Like I didn't know that there was a way. And you're teaching DJs now how to create a methodology, like how to create the beats and how to like get people on the dance floor for these events, right? So they're like, oh, there's a system for that? Oh, I didn't know. Like you didn't know either. So going back, considering that, imagine the timeline. Where did you start in your journey? Like where were you in the beginning? What were you going through? These are the things you write down, okay? Like write them down for yourself right now. Where did you start? What were you going through? How did that feel when you were going through it? You have to write down the emotions. Hint, hint, this is going to be a part of your marketing when you market your signature offer forever and ever, amen. What would the most ideal outcome, hey Joanne, what would the most ideal outcome for you have looked like when you were at your starting block being like, this sucks, I don't like it, I want something better? What were you imagining that something better to be? What did that look like for you? Write that down. What did that look like in terms of your freedom, your time, your energy, your space, your joy, your flexibility, all of that, your purpose, your passion, what did that look like for you in terms of, if I could only get here, what would that look like? Number 2, consider where you ended up. So starting block to full transformation, and you're like, we never really like arrive, but like, where did you get to where you were like, I solved that problem, and I'm like, I'm at this great spot right now. I'm great. Where's that transformation end spot essentially? And like where you were satisfied with the outcome. What did that look like? Write that down. What did it look like? Describe it. So how did it feel to no longer be suffering through whatever you're suffering through? Whether it's like, whether it was financial like disaster, whether it was not knowing how to figure out your kid's unruly hair, whether it was like, oh my gosh, I can't, like this monkey is amazing as a pet, but like I can't seem to get this diaper off, and it's like been in a diaper for 2 years. Are you allowed to potty train a monkey? I don't know. I feel like monkeys are always in diapers, and they're so cute in diapers. Hey Anne Marie, Marcy. Oh, good. Pay attention, Marcy. I love you. I want you to get this. So good. So, and also let me know if you know if monkeys ever get potty trained, like when they are pets. Do they ever end up doing that, or do they stay in diapers forever? So what did that transformation look like? What did it feel like? How do you wish, or like what did you wish you could have told yourself in the beginning? Having gone through that transformation, what did you wish you could have told yourself about that transformation? Number 3, what happened in between? It wasn't random. It wasn't like you might have been trying a bunch of different things, but like what were the things that worked along the way? Okay. Number 3, write down what were the things that worked along the way between the start block and the transformation. What were the things that you were like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. Forget about all the trial and error stuff. Forget about it. What worked along your journey to keep you going on a path to the transformation? Bobby, your son's toilet trained? That's amazing. So although he's not a monkey, I could probably guess that he acts like a monkey sometimes. All of mine do. Still, at 13, 15, they all do. And good job for toilet training your son. I like that. So those major pieces that moved you along in the transformation, write them down. Like if you're doing a piece of paper, like my homeboy Chaz, this is his book and it's amazing, but hang on. If your piece of paper is like this, start block, transformation, what were the steps, columns, pillars, modules, whatever in between that were the things that helped move you over and over and over? Andrew, you're still barely potty trained? I don't blame you. Listen, diapers are for convenience, are they not? That's what I heard. Okay. I feel like some older people are like, yeah, I can still go to the bathroom, but like, I don't want to get up. I mean, I used to be a supervisor at a casino, and when I was like first graduated college, and grown adults did not need the diapers, but they used them for convenience because I'll be damned if somebody gets their lucky slot machine. Okay, so here's an example. If you taught art, remember my Bob Ross example? How much do we love Bob Ross? Scale of 1 to a billion. Scale of 1 to Bob Ross. How much do we love Bob Ross? Bob Ross. Infinity squared or something? Okay, to the infinity degree? That's not a thing. All right, if you teach art, where did you start? Okay, what was the first thing that you did when you were like learning to do whatever art medium that you choose, like say it's painting? Like what materials did you buy? Bob Ross to 1 trillion, yes. So what happened next? Did you follow a guide? Were you like tracing? Were you learning a method of freehand if you were writing charcoal or something? What did you do that worked really, really well? Number 2, okay, so what happened after that? Like, did you work with color later? Did you find out how to blend those colors together better? Did you find out the trees actually were happy? Bob Ross, you were right all along. You knew it. You knew it. How did you find out that the trees were actually happy? Did you talk to them or did they talk to you? So how did you get those colors to look right? How did you get it all to blend right? How did you know when you were like doing it properly? Was it based on emotion? Was it based on some kind of like a scientific method? Like what was it? And then so number 3, like maybe did you follow a sequence of practicing this in a certain way or like in a certain amount of frequency that fast tracked you to get you where you are, where you're like, I just spent 30 minutes a day for the next 30 days and I really focused on my happy whispering trees and it was amazing? Or were you like, no, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night. I took a break on this day and then I focused on this. And then I took walks on Thursdays every week and the walks would make me be at one with nature and me and the happy trees would like connect and we'd like jam. And then DJ Andrew was like I'm gonna mix a beat for you and you're like, everybody's happy. I'm picturing Trolls now, the Trolls movie. But like what was it that got you like in terms of the sequence that got you practicing to like moving you along down the line, right? Those are your move makers. And below these, by the way, below these, if you were like, yeah, this is the practice sequence I used, and in this practice sequence, you can have like, think of your course, think of your signature offer. In between, underneath each step you took to get to the transformation, underneath each one, there are things to talk about, right? Like if I go back and say like, okay, so then I like decided I needed to learn about the tools that I would use as an artist. All right, brushes, like types of charcoal, types of colored pencils or pastels or crayons or whatever. And then you can talk about paper type, cardstock, weight, feel, processing, like what are the things that you needed to know about? Like there's lots of teaching points underneath each step, right? So don't worry about filling in the course. I'm saying worry about the steps because once you have the steps down, you're like, oh yeah, then that triggers you to say, oh, there's a lot involved in that step. But like just think about the steps, okay? Kairos! Kairos has friends and so does Sanj. I love you, Kairos. It's so good to see you. Lucy! Oh my gosh, I love you. Stephanie, good morning. Guten Morgen. If Mara was here, she's an actual legit German person. She's a German princess and she would be like, your accent is off. And I'd be like, you are correct. So like color work, lighting, blending, other color families, like pros and cons of the tools that you picked, right? Like if you're taking those columns and you're breaking them down, that's your course teachings. But I want you to focus on the modules because when you guys go to market this, when you go to like picture, and Stephanie, I want you listening to this too. When you go to pitch your offer online and you're talking about it, you're not talking about the details. You're not talking about, well, then I had my like set liners and I was like, you know what? These aren't good enough. I'm going to focus on the colored pencils at this point in my journey. Stop it. Don't get into the details. Don't get into examples with them like that. Talk about the steps it took to get to the transformation. If they want the transformation because of how you're talking about the transformation, then they don't care what the details are. They're like, she'll teach me when I get into the course. It's not a big deal. So I want you to think about it that way. So let's say, I'm going to give you another example. Let's say I mentioned it before. Let's say your signature offer was, I teach like single dads, this is a good one. I teach single dads how to tame their daughter's hair without tears and tantrums. That's a solid solution statement actually. Like picture that on your cover, on your Facebook cover. I help single dads learn to do their daughter's hair without tears and tantrums. If I'm a single dad and I know I got to get this kid ready in the morning every day for school, not when they're virtual learning, obviously, but like maybe, then this is your signature. Your signature process could be, number 1, learning about your daughter's hair type. Number 2, choosing the right hair tools. Number 3, washing and brushing and combing techniques. Number 4, learning the hairstyles. Okay, number 5, removing the hairstyle pain-free. Hey dads, you with me or what? You're welcome. I just created your signature offer. Oh, you're welcome. So, of course, when you're talking about washing and brushing and combing techniques, there's going to be like a lot to cover in there. But you don't have to bore them with that. All you have to do is talk about those pillars, those modules, those like steps that you take to get to the transformation. Let me know if you guys are feeling this. Like, let me know if this is making sense to you and if there's any light bulbs going off or if you're like, oh, Lucy, yes, this works. I'm doing it. Perfect. Okay. Lucy says, I teach people how to be their own therapist. Who doesn't need that? People who need it that bad just want to sign up. Exactly. So you give them the transformation. You give them the, Andrew, you know how much I love emojis. Emojis are emotional when you pick the right ones. Thank you. Stephanie, thank you. Joanne, thank you. I love you guys. Okay, Lucy's a fail at this. All right, so this is when the process to like teach the marketing message, this is when you ease the pain for, Mary, I'm so happy. Okay, good. This is when you ease the pain for your clients, because when your clients aren't bought, they're bought in yet, right? They're like, they're just hovering around your space and they're like, I don't know if this is right for me or whatever. Well, if you're telling them, listen, it's just, this is where I started. I'm with you. I feel you. I've been there. I got out. I'm gonna tell you how to get out. You get out like this and like this and like this, and then here's what the other side looks like. Oh my gosh, the other side feels amazing, feels so good. And you talk about that because it's really, really true, right? Like you don't blow any smoke with them. You don't oversell. You don't do that bull crap. Like you don't do what the selling me people do. You talk about the reality of the beginning and the reality of the end. You don't overinflate the results. You don't make yourself look like way better than you are. You talk about it for real, for real. You be authentic always. Canadian princess mic dropping fire, exploding people's minds. Did I read that right, Andrew? Yes, I love it. Okay, it's a language. So when you talk about it in your marketing, so you guys are taking notes, you have the step-by-step transformational offer for yourself, and I know that you're going to need to actually sit down after this live. You're going to sit down and like think through. It could take a half an hour. What was that transformation? What did come next? Shoot, it was like 5 years ago. Let me think about it. And you'll have to think about it and write it down. But once you do, that will be the sequence of things you talk about. You can do a live. Every day or every week. So if you had a 5-module course, you could do a series of five lives once a week. Once a week you're doing lives. The first one, like if you're that dad doing it, you're learning about the hair types this week. And then maybe you cover some hair types. You don't go into the deep training, but you like talk about them to get them to know that you get what you're talking about and to help them understand a little bit more about hair types. And then the next week you talk about combs and brushes and different tools that they can use. And like, oh, I didn't know that those combs had like that sharp end for a reason. Oh, what's that for? I'll tell you what that's for. And so while you're not teaching them the whole transformation, you're giving them insight into little things that can help them. And then you are proving that like you're good at this and you know what you're talking about, and you make it easy. You make it easy for them so that they're like, oh, not only does she know what she's doing, but she can help me because it's not that hard. It's been overwhelming me, but she's already been through it and now she knows how to break it down for me. Preach. This is why we do it like this. This is why we break it down and talk it over and over and break it down in simple steps, and don't get bogged down in the details of the teachings. We don't talk about that online because people get overwhelmed by that. Of course you'll help them, but they need to know that they can trust you first. So getting your signature offer out with consistency is, hey Sabrina, getting it out with consistency is so important for your success, because like I talked about, so few people are going to see your lives, your content, your pre-recorded videos. Dude, there's like, I don't know, almost 4,000 people on my friends list. I think the algorithm supports like maybe 30 people might even know that I'm going live at any given time. And then like I'll get anywhere between like 500 and 1,000 views later on the live. Like it's so, and that could be people repeating the views. A lot of people go over and over my material. They'll like watch a live and they'll watch it again to catch the stuff that they missed. So that's not saying that like a quarter of the people on my list saw my live. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And by the way, I'm public, so other people are catching it, not necessarily people on my live. So if you guys are privatized, not everybody's watching your stuff. And this is why you've got to repeat yourself. Again, not everybody's seeing it, and the people that are seeing it aren't necessarily ready to buy with you, okay? So, Andrew, Marla, just pick one little thing and story, teach, tool it up. You know. How many princesses are here? Marla, you're one of them. The 4-kid princess pack. Format for how to do the lives. Go back to my training on that. I talk about that in, I think, the second week of my training. So I think that's like the last week of January. If you go back, Marla, it's in there too. But when you do this, when you talk about your offer and consistency, we just be consistent, okay? Like just don't worry about repeating yourself, please. And don't worry about being like, oh, I already ran that program. What should I do next? No, run it again. Run it again because you didn't do it right the first time, because nobody does. And although they got value out of it, and although you help the people, you're going to improve it and you're going to make it better and better. And people are going to catch on that you're doing this thing for a living. And guess what? If you're the one that's constantly teaching single dads how to tame their daughter's unruly hair without tears and tantrums, and you do that all day long, who are people going to go to? Some random person that posts about it one time and you're like, no, Why is this so loud? Can you guys hear those notifications? That's annoying. Let me turn that off. Sorry, guys. Okay, so if you are known for, this is not letting me turn my sound off. Oh, that's stupid. So if you're the person that's known for doing this, people are going to go to you because it's all you do all the time. So imagine, okay, I'll get to this example. This is going to be a powerful example. I'll get to this in a second. You're going to like this. Okay. Lucy's standing up like, yes. Okay, so to pricing. How are you going to price your signature offer? You've been waiting to talk about this. Okay, I can't tell you how to price it because that's weird. I can't be like, this is your price, everybody shut up, I'm telling you what to do. I can't do that. But you need to think about what the transformation is, right? Like, are you teaching people how to color in between the lines? Or are you teaching them how to create a masterpiece for above their mantle? Okay, those things should be priced differently. The masterpiece above the mantle, if you could charge $1,500 for a course for that, versus them buying and it's their own piece and it's amazing, versus them buying a piece that they saw in a gallery for $2,500 that they have no emotional attachment to. $1,500 is a steal, bro. And you could do it again, because once you learn the thing, you know how to do it again, right? So then you can, maybe sell your art later. Hello, there's a return on investment, a return on time, and a return on emotion. Don't forget to price for the return on emotion, because people buy what they need and what they want. More often they buy what they want, not just what they need, okay? So you're always worried about, we all are, we're always, well, do they need that? They don't give a crap if they need it or not half the time. How much stuff have you bought on Amazon that you don't need? Come on, you wanted it. Who cares? Like, nobody cares. I'm not judging you. Get whatever you want. But like, don't worry about pricing for what they need. People don't always buy what they need. They mostly buy what they want. Most of us are a mix between logical and emotional buyer. A lot of times the emotional wins over logic. It's like, did I need these? No. Because I've got like 1 billion pens at home and markers. Did I want them? Yeah. You know why I wanted them? First of all, the case, right? Second of all, they're not round, they're triangular, so they don't roll off my desk. Slightly logical, semi-practical, definitely emotional. So we're pricing for that, okay? Stephanie, all day long. Price and emotion. Okay, so you're going to doubt yourself. You will. We all do in the beginning especially. You'll doubt yourself and you'll believe that you don't deserve to charge that much. But your signature pricing, your signature offer should be an investment for people. Number one, so they can take it seriously and like commit to the transformation, because you can't make them do anything. They need to commit. They have to have skin in the game. But the other thing is that your biggest transformation should be the highest value that you deliver. Like, that should be the thing that brings people the most progress. So it's something that your clients will rave about and be so grateful for. In exchange for that, they give you money. Like, they give you money for that. Isn't that good? And oh, by the way, like, they want to know that this thing is priced to a point where, Troy, tell me about the weather in Nebraska, please, right now. Because I think that we're winning on cold. And that's not right. So when you price it appropriately, people are going to be like, I'm taking this seriously. I know she can deliver. I believe in her. I trust her. If I priced my programs, like my signature program, first of all, if I priced that at like $197 to teach people how to create their business, create sick content, turn their branding on fire, create an offer, create a scaling program, learn how to sell it without feeling like a creep, and I did that for $197, do you know how long that takes? That takes weeks to learn. Is my time worth $197 over the course of like 8 to 10 weeks? If I was selling it to 1 million people at a time, maybe. Like, no. And by the way, they're not going to believe that I can do all that for $197, right? That's like saying, hey, listen, Troy Temple, you're on trial for murder. Pretend, guys, he's really not. I don't think so. Like, you're probably not. So, but if Troy Temple was on trial for murder right now, he was accused of like murder one. It was a big one. You're getting life at least. So, and he sees some guy at the side of a bus stop, like on a bus bench. And the guy's like, he's like all slimy. He's got like that weird mustache. And he's like, I can defend you in criminal court. Are you like, yeah, that's my guy. My life is on the line. That bus stop bench guy is my guy. Or are you going to listen to that guy from your old corporate job who has ties. He's the like corporate attorney, and he's got ties all over the place to like the biggest lawyers, best lawyers in the biggest cities. Are you going to be like, no, I'll take his reference. I know it'll be pricey, but like it's my life on the line. Or bus stop guy. Don't be bus stop guy. Don't be bus stop guy. He's got a weird mustache. It wasn't even cool in the 80s. And you don't want bus stop guy, okay? So, by the way, I'm thinking about doing a live next week on money blocks and belief about pricing. Dear God, that alert is so annoying. Can I even turn that? I need to turn that off somehow. I'm thinking about doing a live on money blocks and like the mental pricing issue, like where you're at with like figuring out how to price and like get through this stuff so that you can actually price and feel good about it so that you can sell it. Let me know if you think that training will be good for you, because I've done it a ton of times for people, but and everybody loves it. But if that's where you're at right now in a space where you're like, I can't price anything because I don't feel like I'm worth it, like let's talk about that. I will do a live on that if you want me to. But the other thing is that, you know, if you were to think about, I want you to think about if you were the person, if you were your ideal client before you had your transformation. So say you're going back 5 years ago, whatever, and you're like, now that I know what I know, now that I've come through it, if I could have just given somebody $2,500 to avoid that 2-year trial and error period, the pain, the frustration, the disappointment, the rejection, the whatever that happened because I was trial and erroring it and trying to figure it out on my own. If I could have just paid somebody $2,500 or like $3,200, I would have happily parted with the money. Just give me the freaking result. I can't do this, right? Think about how much you would have paid for what you're doing right now. That's where you price. That's where you price. Think about your ideal client too, imagining what they're going through, all of the pain, and what they would pay to get rid of the pain. Right? Do you need a root canal? I mean, you could get infected, probably, like pretty badly without it, but it might take a while. But could you pull out your own tooth? Sure. I'm sure that you could dose yourself with enough alcohol and like a pair of pliers and like pull out a tooth. I'm sure you could do that. What do you want? Do you want to pay a dentist to do it right so you don't get infected? You know what I mean? Like, what do you want? If the pain starts throbbing enough where like you can't take it anymore and you want to knock yourself unconscious, you're going to pay a professional to do it right. You're not going to pay Bob down the street. Sorry, Bob Romeo. I don't mean like that. But like Bob Romeo is not going to be like the best choice to give you a bunch of Jack Daniels and like a pair of pliers and rip your tooth out. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Bob would ever even try because Bob's a good guy. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to price for the transformation and the professional level that you're delivering, and you need to stop assuming that like you're not worth it, because that's bullcrap. So, do you want to be the bench guy? Don't you dare say yes. Andrew, I know that you're trying to say yes right now just to make me mad, but you don't want to be the bench guy is what I'm saying, all right? You want to give people the transformation that they deserve, the transformation that they don't want to live in, like they don't want to live in this pain anymore. So offer them the real transformation. Offer it on repeat. Offer it in a series of steps that they can actually consume when you talk about it online. 3, 5 steps, like what's the transformation? And do not, hear me now and hear me forever, do not go nuts with like an 8-step, 9-step, 12-step, 67-step, like settle the F down. Categorize. There are not that many steps, okay? There's steps in underneath the modules or underneath the columns of things that you do, but like I will never sign up for something that's like a 14-step program. That sounds exhausting. Talk to me about 3 steps. I got you. I don't care if the 3 steps take 6 months, but like I want to break it down so that it's simple in my brain, so that my brain's like, oh, I can do 3 steps, you know, and then you get on board and you're like 3 months with 3 steps. Okay, that's just like little bits at a time. I can do that. Mary Van Doren, whiskey, don't you dare, Mary. Don't you dare poke the bear. So I'm telling your dentist, Mary. But you want to give it to people in ways that are not intimidating, because obviously your process can be smooth and simple and effective, but you could overwhelm the crap out of them in the beginning if you're marketing it like there's only 32 steps to transform your whole life. I don't care if it transforms my whole life, because when you say 32 steps, I turn my camera off. You know what I mean? Like I actually have a 46-step process to take you from where you are. Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, no. And there might actually be like 46 like little things that you end up doing with them over the time, but like who cares about that? They don't even care about that. They just want you to fix their problem. So talk to them and make it simple for them up front. So if you guys let me know if you feel this, if you hear this, and if you're planning to actually execute on this, because this is the thing that if you take the next 30 minutes or whenever you find 30 minutes to an hour and sit down and think through those steps that you took to get to the transformation, or the steps that maybe you're not your ICA, maybe you're a man and you're a gynecologist, so you never had the gynecological problems that women do, but you know the process because you've been a gyno for a lot of years, so like you get it. So think about those processes and like what took place next and next and next and next to get them to the transformation. Think about it. Think about that. And think about how you'll talk about that. That's all your marketing and that's your offer. And then you rinse and repeat. And you think about that pricing and what people would pay for that to get them out of their pain, get them out of their stuckness, and to give them the like bright and shiny future that they want so bad. So, Dean, yeah, 32 steps, 32. Oh gosh. So that's what I want you guys to do. Stephanie, I believe you. I know that you're writing right now. You take massive action. And if you missed the window for Academy 2.0 because we had limited seats and a limited time, and you want to be on the wait list for the next class, like hit me up, like hit me with a DM, or like you can do #Academy or whatever. I'll make sure you get on the wait list because we will only be giving it to first dibs next time we open it, and there will be limited seats too. So like we're absolutely going to prioritize our people in our friends network that are like, let me know about the next one, because they're already doing it and we already have a wait list. So that will fill up, and then there won't be, so the next time we launch, there's only going to be like whatever seats available depending on who's like locked in on the wait list. So if you want that for the Academy, let me know. Stephanie, I got you, girl. You're on the list. And then, and since I wrapped up this 6-week training series on these Thursday lives for how to create a profitable business that you love. And guys, I really want you to take action on your signature program. I want to see people marketing it, and feel free to tag me in it when you start doing that so I can support you and like give you, comments and love and all that stuff. But I'm thinking about working on a new series to bring to you, and I'm super pumped about it, starting in March. So I want you to watch the space. Stay tuned. If you don't have live notifications on for me and you want to know about this stuff, the 3 buttons at the top of this live that you're watching right now, the 3 buttons, you can do turn on notifications for that. And if you can guess it by March 7th. Hi, can I help you?
I just want to do some work on Never Stay at Office.
Yeah, can you open the door and then go around that way? Okay, yeah, perfect. So if you can do that, if you can guess it by March 7th, and I haven't already told you about it. Why do they do this? Oh my God. I thought we were free and clear, but we're not. Okay, if you can seriously though, if you can guess it by March 7th, and I haven't already told you, I will send you a $10 gift card to Starbucks just for guessing it right. Can you do it? What's my live training series going to be about? No, it's not a live training series. It's not a live training series. It's a series. That's a hint. I'm not giving you any more hints. What's it going to be about? $10 gift card to whoever guesses it. And there's 2 people that know what it is, so I'm not giving you the gift card. That's cheating. I don't do cheaters. So watch the space, hit the notifications. If you want to make sure that you don't miss it, little 3. It's called a hamburger menu for those of you who care. 3 dots. Boop. Turn on notifications. You're good to go. And then, oh, Dean, have you seen it? It happens like all the time now. I want to have a booby trap next time. I got to get with an ammunitions expert. Bomb squad. I know a guy. Okay, I'm not even going to go down there. Okay, so watch this space. Sincerely, thank you for hanging out with me, and I really hope you guys take action on this, because this is the thing that changed my business for good online. Changed my business, changed the trajectory, changed the scaling opportunity, changed my months over months for income, changed my clients' results to the point where people are crying with me. Like, this is what can happen for you if you put this stuff into place. I'm serious. So signature offer, price it appropriately, market the crap out of it. People need it, they need you, and you need it to work. So I'm going to catch you guys later. Stay awesome.